Thank you for joining us for the Envision Unlimited Impact Stories project.
I've been in Envision for quite a while now, and my first thing that I was my first workshop that I was at was here at Westtown, and then I am at Diversity 4436 West Diversity, and I call this workshop my first home.
I'm kind of triple here. I'm a family member, I am a board member, and I'm a donor. So the reason that we selected Envision is it is one of the few organizations in the Chicagoland area that treats both duly diagnosed clients who have developmental disabilities and mental health issues. And seeing that they excel in this ability to service my brother and be able to help him grow, it was just a natural fit that we would look to Envision to help us out. He's really, blossomed and flourished within Envision.
I have 3 children, and I just thought to myself that first night, that first event I went to, I said to my husband, if I want to live in a world where that if our child was had disabilities or differences, that they would be supported, and that they would live in a world in which if we couldn't do it ourselves, that the community around us would help that child grow to their potential. So being a part of an organization that gives that service to all of our clients to grow in whatever way they want to grow and do whatever it is they want to do. I mean, we want to support them in that. And we do support them in that. We support them in getting jobs. We support them in volunteering. We support them in building personal relationships. So yeah, I want to be part of building the world that I want to see. And I think Envision is a big part of that.
My sister is actually an adult who's been diagnosed with autism. Many of the services provided by Envision Unlimited with choice, independence, and inclusion in mind, because that's Envision Unlimited's mission statement, are crucial to the success of individuals like my sister in navigating the everyday challenges of adulthood. I've definitely struggled with finding outlets to aid in my sister's success as an adult with a disability, and Envision Unlimited really allows me to combine my personal and my professional aspirations into one really rewarding experience.
I have schizophrenia, and I'm part of Envision because it helps me with my mental illness. I've just been, going through the motions of every day and doing my coping skills, doing my chores. I'm getting better at my chores. I want to get my own place soon, but I haven't been able to because of pandemic. And
I have seen personally by participating in a lot of those bike rides and interacting with our members at Westtown, I have seen incredible physical and emotional improvement of our members because we took a step of saying, hey, why don't you join us and be part of the community?
So the Buddy Biking program is a program where we get together usually once a week and we ride bikes. The Westtown Center is actually located right next to the 606 trail in Chicago. A group of clients and a group of volunteers will get together and we'll go out and go for a ride on the 606 together.
My connection with Envision is to help me be independent. My thing about the pandemic is keeping my mind off things and reading. It keep me sharp, keep me focused on other things. I use my time wisely to keep me motivated.
I've been playing my game. I have a PS4. I have a PS4. And I go outside and I sit on the front porch sometimes. And sometimes I take me a nap.
Well, just like all of us were impacted when the order was stay at home, don't go out, okay? You can imagine that our members who were able to leave their family during the day and go to day centers to be in arts programs, job training, working in the kitchens. As difficult it is for those of us who don't have those kind of challenges, imagine how it was that all of a sudden these members were told, you can't go there anymore.
Willie is about routine. So he loves going to the mock center. And he loves, getting in the shower, getting dressed, sitting there waiting for the pace bus, and knowing that he's going to be going to school. It took a while for him to understand that he wouldn't be going to school. So one night I forgot to tell him that there was no school. So he got up the next morning, he got dressed, got in the shower, and then he sat by the window. And I felt so heartbroken because he didn't understand that there was no school. And I would say, well, school is closed. You're on vacation. There's no school. So I said, okay, you want to go? Where do you want to go, Willie? He said, the mock center. And I said, okay, let's go. So we drove by the school, and I showed him that the doors were closed, and I said that the doors are closed, Willie, there's no school, which seemed to help him understand that he couldn't go in.
During the pandemic, just watching these program directors and the staff, how they have stepped in, and it really just shows the dedication of our employees and how they love our clients. And they just seem to they're willing to do anything to step in and take charge when necessary, to keep our clients as safe as possible. Because I don't know if everybody knows we had like the live-in model. Whenever someone was tested positive, they shut the house down, and the people who were already there, they asked, can you live in? And it was amazing at how many people were willing to sacrifice their own lives and families to actually move into the homes and take care of the clients. And
the day that we kind of first found out that our first resident was sick, it was scary. I noticed that one of my residents wasn't eating. So I asked him if he was okay, and he told me yes at first, but I knew something was wrong because he's a really good eater. A little bit later, it was time to take temperatures, and we noticed that his temperature was elevated. At that moment, it was scary because Corona had just really started. We didn't know what to expect, how it was transmitted, what was going to happen, or anything like that. So it was definitely scary. Once the resident got taken to the hospital, we knew that something was going to have to be done, that somebody was going to have to stay, the house was basically going to be locked down. And in that moment, I volunteered because I'd rather for them to have someone they knew here. I've been with these guys for over 5 years now. So I wanted them to have somebody that they knew, that they were comfortable with. Everybody was already scared enough and not knowing what was going to happen. So just a little comfort of, having somebody that you felt safe with to kind of go through the experience with you was the reason that I kind of okay, I'll stay. Just being away from my kids and my family. And that was kind of part of the reason that I stayed as well, because I knew I had been exposed to the virus, and to possibly take it home and affect my kids and my family, that would have really, really hurt me. So I sacrificed myself. I stayed just so I can make sure that they would be safe. I'm really grateful that Felicia decided to stay, because at first she was afraid, and we both were. We both were really, really scared, but she did decide to, she Shonda, I don't want you to stay here by yourself. I'll stay and help. And that's what it was. It was just, we kind of became job sisters or something like that. But it was
That's great.
So, when I don't know, I came to work and, I just agreed, I talked it over with my coworker, and we agreed to quarantine here. I remember signing the paperwork and all that, saying we agreed to stay here 2 weeks, possibly 3 weeks. I was terrified. My first thoughts was, have I exposed my kids to this? Still worried about my individuals at the same time, their well-being, who I serve, serve and protect every day. And I was also worried about, by me staying here, was I even going to make it out of here to see my children? And like me and my coworker, we were a team player. We were really good with the situation. I can't say that I would do it with anyone else, but we worked together.
During that time, we had to live in that Rose Center, and I was situating the member because she had contracted the COVID. So we had new bedding, so I making up her bed, and she assisted in making up her bed. And so I had happened to buy some pajamas, and they matched her bedding. And they were brand new. I'm like, I'm going to give her my pajamas. And doing that, giving of myself and giving of things that's personal, I enjoy that. That impact, and that made her so happy. She hardly ever smiles, but she smiled, and she felt comfortable with me taking care of her. And that made me feel really good. It did. It touched my heart.
I think that Envision has done a great job with everything. They have really been trying to make sure that everyone is comfortable at the home since the client's been staying home since March. I think that once the house that I'm over, Kildare Silla, once we found out that we did have some members that tested positive, I think the upper management, they immediately did everything they could to make sure that the clients were safe and that the staff were safe, and that they didn't let go. It wasn't just from the start that they started to help us. They helped us from the beginning to the end. The support meant a lot because, Envision has over 700 staff. So I felt that they treated us as if we were their personal family.
I personally feel that as absolutely difficult as the moment has been with the pandemic, my experience of the people who I admire has improved, and everyone has only grown in my eyes in the way that I've seen them engage with the challenge. And I don't know, I think it has formed so many new valences of how we relate to one another, especially in the way that a lot of staff have had to work in homes with our members now. And
completely changed our business model to say, look, they still need the services. And so the pandemic forced us to go, well, if day centers aren't open, then how do we bring the services to their homes? If not for the pandemic, that's not something we would have needed to do. But the moment we found out we needed to do it, we just did it.
I think what's been amazing about Envision during the pandemic is it's a bit bittersweet, because we had to make the choice that Michael would stay at the Silla that he's at. We haven't been able to personally really visit with him since the beginning of March, and we understand why. We have to keep all the clients and staff members as healthy as possible. But I really want to give a shout out to Marty and Donna and Anthony and Jonathan, who were able to organize a Zoom meeting for his birthday. So we were able to have a virtual birthday party for him in the end of March. We had cake and pizza delivered to his house, and we were able to at least to see him and see him enjoy all that. And that really meant a lot to us. And the fact that Envision was able to pivot very quickly and create an opportunity for us to spend some time with him, albeit virtually.
Envision has definitely taken a lot of steps to be as inclusive as they can using technology and stuff like that. Now, myself and Jimmy and David are live streaming yoga classes and stuff David and Jimmy are live streaming stuff every day. They're having folks come out and bring supplies and stuff to the clients and all that while they're at homes. It's just, they've made a pivot. They've recognized there's a problem. They've made a pivot, and they're doing the best they can to keep people entertained, keep people safe, and move through this until it's all over. And I, from what I can see, from my perspective, they're doing a fantastic job.
That's a real growth in the whole disability community. In the past, it was almost like treating our members as children. Let's house and feed and take care of them. And the new dynamic is, wait a minute, they're as much of our community as anybody else. And so we will continue to strive to be able to make them included in the general community.
Say bye.
Bye, Abby.
Bye. Okay, you take care of yourself too and be safe.
Hold on for 1 minute. Hello? Okay, thank you. All right. Well, I gotta go. My ride outside.